Hello, my brown elite loves. It's your girl ChesZerae, aka the pretty producer, aka the singing scholar. And today is December 30th. Can you believe there's just 2 more days left into the new year of 2025? So, man, it's been a time. It's been a time. I wanted to come on, do a video real quick to first say thank you so much for those of you who took the time out to wish me happy birthday, especially those who really took time to write words of life and encouragement. Encouragement goes so much further than you can think. Please understand that it's not overlooked. So I thank you so much for that. It has been actually a pretty decent month, I would say, this time around. I just wanted to also talk about very briefly my birthday reflection. So my birthday reflection for these 31 days was reinvented. Now, I did not do what I usually do, which was like post on a daily basis, like every day, to reflect on a different theme or a different topic. Sometimes what I found is that there were things that I was led to say on specific days, and there were days that I was led to like talk about a certain topic for like a course of 3 days. And then there were times I didn't really have a theme for that day because I really just took time to reflect on what does it really mean to be reinvented. And so for me, these past 30 days, going on 31 days, it was a time for me to reevaluate my value, to really think about what are my gifts, what am I really good at, what is the things or what are the things or what is the thing that's probably holding me back from certain uh, requirements, accomplishments, just things like that. So basically, just a long, long, long journey of reflecting, but also putting things to action. And so I wanted to also say that I would probably say there's three main things that I learned for 2024. Last year I had a list of seven, but this year I think it's basically just three. And I would like to say that the first thing that I've learned is that be literally who God has called you to be. It sounds a bit like, oh, we've heard that before. It sounds very standard. But sometimes I don't think we really think about how much information and how much revelation is packed into that understanding of who you are and really being comfortable with who you are, actually knowing who you are, walking like it, talking like it, expressing that you actually embrace who you are. These things are oftentimes they're easier said than done. And I think that what we need to recognize is not just me personally, but you're constantly undergoing changes. You're constantly going through a difference of, just desires. Sometimes your desires change. Sometimes your direction change. Sometimes literally God will take you out of something that's seemingly, was nice at the time. It was enjoyable, but maybe God is doing something new in your life. And so when you go through these different transitions and changes, I think it's very important for you to be reminded to embrace who you really are, because who you are is like constant changing, constant. Some people think, well, I've always been this way, I'm never going to change. And in some cases, it's true because there are certain parts of you we don't change to a great extent, but the overall growth as a person, as an individual, as a woman, as a man, these things they do take gradual development. So that's one thing that I've learned. The second thing that I've learned is that my lifestyle, the way I choose, because we have free will, I just want to emphasize that. But the lifestyle that I choose is to experience and demonstrate excellence, nothing less, nothing less. And what that may entail is that I will not partake in certain types of conversations. I wouldn't partake in certain types of activities. I'm not going to partake into debating or arguing or trying to prove a point. I think that when you really kind of going back into the first point, when you really start to embrace like who you are, you recognize that you don't settle for certain types of environments. You don't settle for even how people speak to you. Like if someone is speaking to you in a disrespectful way, you don't have to take that. There are just ways that you establish these boundaries, which kind of leads me to my third point. So the third thing that I've learned this year is to establish personal and professional boundaries. I have found that when I did not have like a very solidified set boundary, There was things that were so costly that I experienced this year, things that I have not even mentioned to a few people. And I recognized, I said, you know what? I can't even really point the finger, because if I'm pointing fingers, I'm still not addressing who's the common denominator, myself, which means that I have to actively make that decision to set certain boundaries. And so, with setting the personal boundaries, I've found that not everybody's called to the same type of work. And when I say work, I'm not necessarily talking about a career, but purpose, where we have to put our hands to the plow and to work through the purposeful work that we are called to do. When you take the time to do that, there are things that just don't matter. And for me, I'm recognizing like, wow, God's willing, coming into 2025, as this will be a year where the Holy Spirit would have his way, and there'll be impact, there'll be prosperity, there'll be elevation. And I don't say these things just to speak, like fluff, but really think about it. When you are in a place of having the peace of knowing that God has called you to certain things, there is how can I put it? There is this no doubt that you're going to go higher, you're going to be better. And it's more than just a motivational, sentence. It's literally, if you walk that, do you believe that? Do you understand that it does take sacrifice? It does take work. It does take being quiet. It does take literally saying no to certain things. It does take being more mindful about your time, managing your time. Now, this is not for everyone. Now, you can take some things and say, yes, that does address, certain things for me. And then you can also say, hey, that doesn't have anything to do with me. And that kind of leads me to like a smaller point about going into 2025. At the end of the day, I don't know how many times we have to say this, but I guess we're going to have to keep saying it. But everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a different way that they view certain things. And if you're going to lose sleep over it at night, that kind of lets me know you're not secure with yourself. You don't know your purpose. Because if you did, you would actually understand that's just the nature of people. Even those who are in the body of Christ, we don't always see everything eye to eye. At the end of the day, people have their own opinions, period. So if you are, standing on something and it's something that it's right, and it's something that you need to go forth with it without any guilt, without any shame. I mean, I get it. Words definitely can be very painful for people, but I have found that if you are the one to take in that, again, where's your foundation? Where's your foundation of actually having that healthy confidence of knowing literally that, hey, if I stand for something, my standards are this way. You got to know that. So, again, I'm just kind of speaking from my own personal perspective, but I will be coming back to do Speak Life into the new year, God's willing, for 2025. This year, I definitely took off because I did a lot of stuff like offline, but I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to share some encouragement, some empowerment. And I thank you all for just kind of like inquiring and just asking, and also supporting me. Appreciate your encouraging words. A lot of you have sent me, whether it was a note on social media or it was email. Appreciate it so much. And I will keep you all posted as far as like, I will be taking some time off of social media. I usually take time between January to March. So I'm thinking, I don't know quite yet the date, but it might be like around January 15th and probably up until like the end of February, just kind of dependent. I'll keep you guys posted. No worries about that. So in the interim, please stay safe. Have a happy New Year's Eve and a happy New Year to all of you. Stay blessed, and we will definitely be in touch. If you have any messages that you want to send me, you can send them to Facebook. You can send them to Instagram. I still check Instagram from time to time. You can send it through LinkedIn, and you can also send me an email. If you don't have my email, I will likely put it somewhere across my social media so that you can have it. But there is a link in my Instagram for sure where you can sign up for my weekly inspirational emails that I send out, usually just once per week, every week of the year. And I've been doing that for about, gosh, I want to say, I think I've been really faithful with it now for about like 5.5 years. So I want to thank all of you that actually have been so dedicated to reading those, because some of you are like literally still on the list since day one when I resurrected it back. Because there was a time, long time ago, I had an email list of like, it was like over 100 people Actually, it was like a good 300 people, I remember. And I literally retrieved those on my own. But after a while, when people change email addresses or they're not interested anymore, that kind of list kind of dwindles down a little bit. But I want to say that I've got a solid audience right now, and my prayers that it will grow in 2025. But thank you all for being so loyal, okay? So I'll talk to you all soon. Have an excellent day, night, afternoon, no matter where you are in the world. This is ChesZerae, aka the Pretty Producer, aka the Singing Scholar, and I